All right, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Vinnie-Dangerous, and I'm back with another installment of Dangerous Minds. I'm back again with my homegirl Cash. You know, I've been on your show not too long ago. You were
Yes.
on a few of my episodes, so we always have good dialogue. So I'm excited about this.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you being on the show. Yeah, like we got a lot to talk about. But first, I want to ask how you doing. Like, how's everything been since the last time we talked?
I am making it. That's all I can say. I'm making it. I've definitely been mentally going through with everything going on.
Yeah.
Um, all of the recent deaths that are coming to surface. But I'm making it. I try to untap and try to wind down and listen to my jazz or do some writing or whatever. But I'm cool.
Yeah,
How
it's
about
good
you?
to unplug. Like I've been trying not to be as like you're trying to stay informed, but just trying to digest that stuff constantly. Like all
Yeah.
the sometimes it can just become overwhelming. Like, but yeah, so we got a lot to talk about because we both before it started recording, like we both talked about this and we very passionate about
Right.
what was going on. You know, this whole No Name and J. Cole situation. Like
Yes.
so okay, so first let me get your opinion on the records. Like, you know, J. Cole's
Um.
and her response.
Okay. So let me first say I am not an advocate of canceling J. Cole. That's not what we about to do. I love J. Cole like the next. I don't even call him J. Cole. I refer to him as Jermaine because that's how much I I rock with him. But I think so let me say I did not see all of No Name's tweets. I saw a few tweets because I'm not even big on Twitter like that, but I did go to her stream just to see what she had been saying.
Mhm.
And to me, it seemed like she was just saying in general. A lot of
Right.
people saying, "Oh, she called out Kendrick and Cole." No, she didn't drop names. So to me, it's just like she's saying in general. Like we have mad top selling rappers that have not been using their platforms. Future, Young Thug, um,
Well, the thing is
look,
though, like
Rowdy Rich, like
she she
just a
did
handful of
specify
people.
though. She
Did
did
she?
specify that it was rappers, a millionaire rappers that talk about black plight in their music, and those artists ain't
Okay.
talking, they ain't discussing what's really going on in like the community, like conscious rappers. That's basically
Okay.
talking about.
Okay. So that one I did not see. So that's why I was a little confused.
And there ain't too
But
many that's actually making money if you really think about it. Top
yeah,
selling conscious rappers is only a few, and
right.
Kendrick and Cole are the main two that people think about.
Right, right. Okay, so I will admit I did not see that particular tweet.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing why I was so upset with J. Cole and his response was because I feel like he didn't think through it. I feel like he just acted out of anger or, just being bothered and just felt the need to respond. But to me it's like you didn't have a homeboy around to say no, Cole, like that's
Mm-hmm.
not what we need right now. You didn't have a home girl to say, nah, that's not what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
feel like he should have been a man about it, taken the mature route and reached out to her and said, hey, I feel like you're talking about me. Are you referring to me? What can I do? Literally everything he put into the song. Like he could have just reached out to her and say, hey, I feel like you're referring to me. What is it that I should be doing or that you think I could be doing differently?
Mm-hmm.
Because a song is not helping anything. And then I mean, I don't want to call it a diss record, but it is what it is. Like it's a low key diss record. So I just felt like he I could curse, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay.
It was like a slight bitch move,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know. I'm a mom of two boys. So I have a teenage son. So here's the scenario. If my son is at school and he comes home and says, "Oh, mom, I heard people were talking about me." So I'm a go at them. As a mother, I'm going to say, do you know that they're talking about you for sure? Like, did you approach the person and say, are you referring to me?
Like
And
getting the
then
full
get
context
the
of the
full context
situation.
and then react from there. Like, I don't feel like he did that. And I feel like he should have, like I said, reached out to her and said, yo, is this about me? What's up? Like, what can we do from here? But instead, he acted out of feelings and put out his song, his snooze alert song. Yes, J. Cole is, no matter how much I enjoy his music, he has boring music. I don't care. Y'all can come at me all you want to. J. Cole is boring, but I enjoy him. So hey.
I mean, okay, that's we could keep,
but that's besides the point.
because it's like I don't. We'll talk about that after we get done, because I always wonder what people meant by boring. Because then they'll say certain people that have a similar sound, but they never mention the boring thing. It's always like certain artists, but then other artists. But it's like they most of the time they both be like cut from the same cloth. Anyway,
it's just like I'm not gonna put on J. Cole to take a road trip, like, because I might fall asleep in the steering wheel. He's like a mood artist. Like, you gotta be in the mood for him.
Yeah.
But besides the point, I just feel like it was very much like it. I mean, it goes kind of deep. Like,
yeah, it's
think about right now with everything going on in the world. Of course, NoName is frustrated. She is hella active in the world of, she's an activist. Her parents obviously raised her to be conscious of what's going on in the world. It's in her music. So it's just like, it almost felt attacked and like an attack as a Black woman. The thing that I thought of was Malcolm X quote, saying that the Black woman is the least protected woman in America or in the world. I got that quote all messed up, but you get the point. But you know what I'm saying? Like, the whole world literally just attacked her, and it was that whole week or so, it was men against women going back and forth, like, who's right, who's wrong. And I'm just like, did we really need that right now? Like, we are literally fighting for our race, for our culture, for everything Black people, period. Why do we need this beef in music?
Because I was feeling like that too. Like, my first reaction when the song dropped, because I was up, it was like Thursday night or something. I just got out of class, and I'm like, oh, okay, J. Cole just dropped a new track. Let me listen to it. I'm thinking it's about what's going on in the world, like the protests, like police brutality, like what's going on in the world. And then it's like this, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird. And I started seeing other people's reactions to it. And my first response, because I didn't see it as a diss. So I felt like, just like how NoName didn't specify, J. Cole didn't specify. At first I was like, how are y'all getting this NoName comparison? I can name like 10 women on Twitter that's been talking like that he could have been.
Are they rappers? Are they?
I mean,
those women rappers?
He just mentioned in the song, he didn't mention a rapper. He mentioned Twitter. He mentioned tweets on the timeline. So it could have been anybody's timeline he could have been referring to. But the more I thought about it,
NoName, like, it could have been any rapper that she was referring to. But like I said, I didn't see that initial tweet. So
yeah, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, man, this wasn't the right time. It's just, that was the thing. Because the thing was, I didn't have a problem with what he said. I just had a problem with the timing. I had a problem with, like, that sounded more like that should have been a deep cut on the album, or he could have dropped that later in the year or something like that. Because I'm gonna be honest, as frustrated as she is, just like how people was pissed off about what J. Cole said, I was pissed off at NoName. Like, the fact that she's a woman is the only difference between her and Don Lemon, because Don Lemon addressed Dave Chappelle addressed Don Lemon for the exact same thing that NoName is calling out, basically rappers like Kendrick and Cole and other like artists that they say ain't really like speaking up when they doing their work off Twitter. So you coming at them greasy like that, like, I felt like that should have been addressed. But yeah, like, it probably should have been like a call or something like that. Maybe an attempt to reach out to her, try to say like, hey, what's going on. But at the same time, she could have did the same thing. She could have really, like, because it's not like you talking about people that are unreachable. Like y'all be in the same circles. Y'all deal with like
But
the same artists that she deal with, that he deal with. At least you could. She don't have to have a direct conversation with them, but if she's really like, oh, I don't know what they're doing, I know you know how to get in touch with people to kind of find that information, even if it's not on your timeline.
right.
So I think that was very ill-advised.
Mm-hmm.
So I say J. Cole should, like, his approach was wrong, but as far as like, and you know, the tone thing, like people zoned in on that, but yeah, it's like a reality is like, because I felt like a lot of people didn't know how NoName tweets and how she is on social media. Because I follow her.
Right.
I
She
follow
tweets like
her.
that all the time.
Yeah, and like she talking like, you know, other people got a taste of that because she said something about
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce, and everybody that was coming in her defense about how you're disrespecting a woman was calling her all types of disrespectful stuff just because she said something about Beyonce. Way more reckless, way more disrespectful. Oh, but yeah, like what basically what I was saying is that those same people on Twitter, because that was the other thing too, like the reaction that J. Cole got, I think what triggered me at first, because it didn't sound like it had anything to do with NoName. It didn't have anything to do with her coming to her defense. It didn't even have anything to do with him addressing a black woman. It felt more like it was people that already had a problem with J. Cole, that had these feelings, and they were waiting for him to slip up. They were waiting for him to do something that they could pounce on him. Because I'm seeing stuff about, well, you know, he did this back in this song. Like people was quoting Crooked Smile and songs from the Cold World. Like I'm seeing, those are the tweets I'm seeing. And I'm seeing a lot of that
Yeah.
conversation. That sounds like that's just stuff that y'all been wanting to let off for a minute. And now that
Right.
the conversation is, oh, we got to get J. Cole, it's like, all right, like I've been had this in my back pocket. Let me go ahead and slap him with this real quick. So that's why I thought it was corny.
Yeah, I definitely saw a lot of people talking about canceling J. Cole and
Mm-hmm.
he treats his artists like shit anyway.
Oh,
He
and
blah
fuck
blah
Chance the
blah.
Rapper too.
Yeah, fuck Chance the Rapper. And I'm just like well, I agree with what Chance the Rapper said,
No,
but
fuck Chance the Rapper, because that's his boy. He said that. That's your boy, and you jump
so
out.
I mean the same thing. Like he should have reached out to Cole directly. Like get off of Twitter. Like y'all have each
Yeah.
other's phone numbers. Stop doing shit
Nah,
for
but
clout. And I feel like J. Cole low-key did that for clout. And I'm just like, it's not the time to be cute with this. Like you could have reached out to her and been direct and saw and felt her frustration. He didn't
no,
try to feel her. You know what I'm saying? And that was what was a bitch move to me.
yeah,
And
but
that's just how
like,
I
because the
feel about it.
thing,
Because
the way I looked at it was like, even though because I felt like both of them was wrong. Like I think that's one thing a lot of people aren't like observing is that, yo, J. Cole should have handled this better. And I think it's because he's the bigger artist with the bigger platform. He looks more wrong.
right.
And you know, like the way that the conversation was going, like about how black men
Mm-hmm.
don't protect black women like we should. And that conversation was like that was in full swell when this song drops. So I get it.
Right.
But like those two, I don't think she should be. I don't think that bullshit should be ignored, because I don't care how frustrated you
Exactly.
are. Just because people aren't posting about the work that they're doing behind the scenes doesn't give you the right to call them out. I
Right.
don't like, because it's not like you know for sure that J. Cole just sitting on his couch not doing shit. Or
Right.
like
Right.
Kendrick's sitting on his couch not doing shit. These people are out here like working. They may not be doing as much work, or you don't think that they're doing as much work as you, but that doesn't give you the right to call them out either. So it's
Yeah.
like if it was another woman that attacked her, like that's the thing. It's like if another like I don't know, just Tierra Whack or something like that. Like if Tierra Whack dropped a song on her in the middle of all this, it wouldn't have got the same response. And I think
Right.
that's the part that pisses me off too. Because that's another thing. It's like she's a rapper too. Like you say something greasy about a rapper, you should expect a rapper gonna come at you.
Right.
This wasn't the right time, but if it happened 3 months from now, people would probably still have that same reaction.
Yeah. I can agree with that. I definitely agree with you saying, like, with it being whole man versus woman thing, because the whole thing just brought so much unnecessary drama on
Right.
social media, and I'm just like, everybody, like, this is a distraction from the problem at hand. This is a distraction from what she's frustrated about, period. What we're all frustrated about, period. Like, oh, I don't know.
Like, I just hated the timing. Like, J. Cole
Yeah, the
dropped
timing
that
was
song.
horrible.
Even she realized that even responding at this time right now is just like not
How
even
did you
worth
how
conversation.
did you feel about her response?
Uh, I mean, it was cool. I mean, you talk about boring rappers. I was bored as hell listening to that song.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
I mean, I agree with what she was saying, and I'm glad that she at least kept it short and
mm-hmm.
sweet. So it's not like I'm listening to 3, 4, 5 minutes of that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
No Name is pretty
monotone.
monotone. Yes, that's the
Yeah,
word. Yeah, she's monotone, kind of like moody too. Like, if you smoking or something, listen to No Name, listen
and
to J.
like,
Cole. But
and I said
I'm not
I
turning up
said
to
that
No Name.
boring comment, but like, I actually am a fan of her. Like, I've been a fan of her
Yeah.
since I listened to her on Acid Rap. Like,
Yeah.
she did that verse with Chance. So like, I don't want it to feel like it's a complete knock on her,
Mm-hmm.
but that was foul. Just like people was like, yo, why is Don Lemon calling out these people? He got no right to call out these people. She ain't got no
Exactly.
right to call these rappers out.
Yeah. How did you feel about her when she apologized, when she tweeted out the apology? I was just like, why? Like,
I just thought it was a
oh,
very
stand your fucking ground. Stand your ground, home
it's
girl. Like, if you mad, be
yeah,
mad and just go on with it. Like, you don't have to apologize.
yeah, it's rap, yo. I
This
said,
whole
like,
thing was
it's
just
just
stupid to me.
I and then at the same time I had mixed feelings about when Cole came out and just said, yo, I stand by what I said, but he didn't clarify anything.
Right.
Because I respect the stance of saying, hey, I stand on everything that I
Mm-hmm.
said in that song, but kind of clarify a little bit. Like, it's a lot of the anger and stuff is coming from confusion. A lot of people are
Right.
confused. Like, why did you put this song out right now? Why did you feel that you needed to address whoever you're addressing in a certain way? Because even then, he never specified that it was about her.
Mm-hmm. I
So,
mean, but we all know it's about her. Like, come
yeah.
on. We all know it's about her. My thing was, like, with the whole song, a lot of people were saying, oh, he was tone policing. And I'm just like, yeah, I didn't look that deep into it. But my thing was the words, like the wording. Okay, queen, blah, blah, blah. It was like he was throwing backhanded compliments. Like, let me
See,
calm her
how is that
down. Let me
and I
calm her
never
down.
understood that. I never understood
Because
that.
you're not a woman, you're not gonna understand. But it's like, let me calm her down. Let me call her queen.
That's why I don't do
And
that queen
then
shit.
exactly. Just
I'm gonna call you
I
by
mean,
your
I'm
name. Now,
cool
if I
with
don't know your
queen.
name, I ain't gonna call you.
Cool with queen, but I don't I mean, it is what it is. Some women love it, some don't. I'm one of those that don't care. Like, if a guy was to say, "What's up, queen?" I would say, "What's up," and keep it moving. But I can understand what people are saying. He's tone policing by telling her to calm down, and um, he said something about you know, yeah, he did. He said her tone or something, and I'm just like, you can't tell somebody the tone. I don't know.
Yeah, he can't tell people how to react.
Yeah, it was
Like,
just.
it's just, I didn't like that. I still don't like her tweets, but
Mm-hmm.
that was for another thing. Just because you're not informed. You're not
Right.
informed, and you're making these wild accusations, and it's like, oh well, yeah, they've actually already been out there.
Right.
I mean, I don't remember seeing any no name photos of her out there in the streets.
Yeah,
So
I don't
that's
recall
also
seeing any
another
either.
thing that like rubbed me the wrong way, because I actually went looking. I went
Oh,
looking to see, like, because I ain't seen none of that on my timeline. I would just be seeing you talking crazy about people.
right. You know what had bothered me of J. Cole? He was saying basically, like, to help him. And that looks good to say, I don't know, so help me. that looks good, but you're a grown man. You got Google, you got social media, you have assistants, you have insight phone numbers, you can reach places that most of us can't. So use them resources. Like you can get there.
That's one
Like
thing that
stop
I
playing.
like
Why
Justin
should
Hunt talked
I
about.
right? Why should I as a woman say, oh, this is what you need to do? No, you're a grown ass man. Like figure your shit out and get to work. We don't it's like time out for babysitting people. And that was one thing that I was very frustrated about, because like he said something about, oh, I got a college degree, but I just don't know. Well, figure it out. You got a college degree, figure it out, and let's get to work at this
Right.
point.
But then because I Justin Hunt talked about that on his channel. Well, he had a discussion and he talked about how it was kind of like in a way trying to absolve himself of responsibility to a certain extent.
Right.
And I don't know, because that part was a little funny to me. I remember that was the first time when I first listened to it. That was the one thing that stuck out to me that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like it's kind of like the whole thing when like rappers or celebrities try to say that they're not role models. It's
right.
like regardless, you have a certain level of like you have a platform because of your fame and you have this certain level of influence. So regardless of whether you want to or not, you are leading the people that are fans of you,
Right.
especially the younger ones, the more impressionable people that follow you, that love your art or love you playing ball or whatever. Like there's a certain responsibility that's going to be attached to that regardless. Like you're in the
Right.
spotlight, people are watching you, people are watching your movements, and they're going to mimic your movements. So but so that is a part that like rubbed me the wrong way. And then as far as like the whole teaching thing, like because we could speculate all day like what he meant, because I took it as a way of like I didn't even look at it from that perspective. And like after talking to women, I kind of see it. Like I kind of see like it, because it's that whole just kind of expecting women to kind of come in and clean
Fix
shit up.
everything.
Yeah, like fix everything.
If y'all listened to us in the first damn place, we wouldn't be in this predicament.
And like I so I get that part. But man, because I sit down and think about like NoName's tweets and like how she comes off sometimes. And like shoot, people got a taste of that today. I mean, the other day with what she said about Beyonce.
Right.
It's like, oh, well, y'all was tone checking her because this is the tone that she takes. Like she's called Obama a communist. Like she's on some she gets real like no, and I actually commend that. But like the thing is, it's like, okay, maybe in that regard, that's because now you're like more
looking to attack.
Yeah, like you're more antagonistic at that point. Like are you looking to be a leader? Because at some point, like, because that's not, you get a lot more people with honey than vinegar,
Right.
You attract more with honey than vinegar. So I was thinking of that regard, but like I said, like the song was very poorly planned out. Like the timing of it was awful. Like you said, it should have been a conversation.
Right. It was, the whole situation is just messy and was unnecessary.
And usually I like it when rappers go back and forth.
Right.
And cause I was talking to my brother and I was like, this is the first time it's been like women, like a man and a woman kind of going at each other on record. I can't really think of too many different examples. Like my homegirl told me she thought about like back in the day, like Houdini and Roxanne Shante. That was all playful, like that's playful compared to. I mean, I studied this shit,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before my time too. But
you're a rapper, you do this.
But yeah, so I was like, dang, that would be interesting. That's always an interesting dynamic that we haven't seen before. Just right now, and then like just the way it was handled, it just shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened like that.
What do you think about the conversation that I've been seeing a lot, saying that it's got a lot to do with colorism, because they're saying like, oh, had NoName been light skinned, maybe he would.
Nah, that's
I
corny.
don't know. Yeah, I've been saying that. And I'm
Yeah,
just
that's like
like,
because
I
there's a
don't
lot of
think that's
people
got
are
anything to
reaching.
do with. Yeah, a lot of
People are
people are
reaching and
reaching.
grasping for straws. Because I don't, because there's nothing about at least J. Cole at this point for anybody to kind of assume that he would
Right.
take that route, or at least, I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know that man personally, but it's
Right.
like you can't make those type of assumptions. You don't really have, because you would really have to
Yeah.
pull out evidence for me to kind of buy into that theory.
Yeah, I wasn't with that. That just didn't make any sense, but
I
it's
didn't even
out
think
there.
about it until you said it now, and I'm like, dang, J. Cole is like light skinned too.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Maybe
And
that's what people
I
take
don't think
into.
he subscribes to that. I mean, his wife is brown skin, not like my brown. She a little few shades lighter than me, but he got Ari Lennox. She's brown skin, so I don't really think he subscribes to that. But hey, like you said, we don't know him.
That was very telling too. That
Yeah.
Ari Lennox is his artist, but she, came out there for NoName.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
And I even thought like maybe he even knew that he might have messed up, because he even tweeted out the song that she
Right.
put out in response to him.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, like he tweeted that out, telling people to go listen to it.
I'm gonna have to listen to hers again, because I think I just heard it like one time and it didn't like grasp me to listen to it again. I was just like, oh, okay, that's cool.
I mean, the thing is, when I
I don't
heard
think
it,
she should
like,
apologize. That's
no,
my whole thing. She shouldn't apologize.
because he was hitting all the right points. Like
Right, just move on.
it wasn't even like with his didn't feel like an attack. It didn't feel like an attack with hers. She was just basically just stating the facts. Like, hey, there's other shit going on, and you got time to talk about me. Basically, like,
Right.
why are you addressing me? Addressing what I'm tweeting about, and there's like real stuff going on. So
Right.
I didn't see a problem with like what she said. Like, and then she's in response, so it wouldn't even really be like a timing thing for her, because she's like just responding to what was already out there. But I mean, she apologized because she wasn't trying to detract from the movement. I get that, but like it's already out. Like the song's already out. The people have already listened to it. I mean, honestly, if she would have never even put out a song, people had already made up their mind how they felt about the situation anyway. So
Right.
So it really wouldn't have been any more distraction than it is already. But I don't know. Like it touched a nerve for me. Like it touched a nerve for me, because it was just like I looked at it on some rap stuff, and then it was just like there was so many different layers. Like, because there's also the idea of like people are waiting for you to fall.
Right.
People have had issues with J. Cole on the slide for a long time. I mean, I'm from Fayetteville, and there's a lot of people from the very beginning hated on J. Cole.
Right.
It really comes down, like, at least from Fayetteville, it comes down to the fact that like people was mad that he's the one that made it out and they wouldn't, or the people close to them didn't make it out. I mean, this is people who was dissing J. Cole before he even had his first album out. It was like he just had mixtapes. So, and then people hate like the whole they call it the Jesus complex. He grew the dreads out, like he's kind of this I don't know. I don't really know what to say. Like this positive
I just want
guy.
J. Cole to please get your hair retwisted.
Hey man, he liking the natural look. I don't know. I wouldn't do it, but hey, it works for him.
But yeah,
it's like he's starting to look like Murs now.
He is. He definitely, like you said, people hate on him just because he's J. Cole, and I mean, people gonna do that.
And I feel like that's why Kendrick got dragged into it, because they want.
What we not gonna do, world.
It's funny because I said like, yo, people was ready to cancel J. Cole, but then they praised Lil Baby for dropping the song he dropped.
Right.
And I ain't got no problem with his song. I actually thought it was pretty dope. But I just think it's kind of funny that like rappers who rap about this stuff all the time, because the work isn't just when somebody gets killed by the police and it's a trending topic. So the rappers that talk about this stuff all the time get dissed because they rap about it all the time.
Right.
But then you get somebody that raps about killing niggas that look just like George Floyd.
Right.
That look like Ahmaud Arbery. That
Niggas
look like Breonna Taylor. Like they
catalogs about this.
They have whole catalogs about killing niggas, but the minute that a police officer kills a nigga, all of a sudden they are ready to stand up and actually speak about this stuff. And I think it's corny how like I said, I ain't got a problem with him putting out a song. Maybe he finally woke up. Like, sometimes it takes these moments for certain people to wake up. But I got a problem with the public picking and choosing who they decide to get behind when everybody really got the same message. Like you dissing J. Cole, you dissing Kendrick because their whole discography's about this. But you praise the rappers that just decided to get up and get in the booth and talk about some real shit when real shit is actually going down. But then they go back to the bullshit they was rapping about.
Right.
Once the popularity dies down.
Yeah, Lil Baby is, I mean, he has money talk, but yeah, I think his content is a little bit better than most.
I mean, it's not
most of these new rappers.
Negative. It's not as negative, but it is. It's like doesn't have much substance either.
Right. It ain't your.
Well, no. I listen to him. I love his new album that came out earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
So because it's time and a place for everything. Like you said with Cole, you're not gonna take a road trip listening to Cole. Like just the same way I wouldn't listen to him when I really want to think about something.
Right.
Like I'm having fun. Like I want to put on Lil Baby. Like I'm not putting them on when like I'm really in deep thought and really want to like kind of process my thoughts with some music in the background. I wouldn't do that with him. So I ain't got a problem with him, but it's just the fact that you stepped into that realm and everybody's giving you your flowers for doing that one time. But you rappers that put in the work all the time. And I have a problem with that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's dope because maybe this might be a shift for him, you know? Maybe
I doubt it. Because everybody do this. Everybody do this. Meek just dropped his fifth socially aware song in his whole discography. Because he always drops it when stuff like this happens. The protests start, Black Lives Matter starts trending again. Meek got another song. And it's not just him. It's all of those type of rappers. They do that all the time. And then they go right back to what they were doing before when the album about to drop.
Right.
And it's not trending anymore. It's not the topic of conversation no more. Like that's when all of a sudden they drop off the mat. So I mean, shoot, like Lil Baby's about to drop a new mixtape called Lamborghini Boys or something like that. With a title like that, I know he's not about to drop anything else that sounds like the bigger picture.
Yeah. So anyway. Yeah, I feel that though. I actually just had a conversation on my show about this same topic. You know, how people they gotta wait for something to happen and then they go in the booth, drop their Black Lives Matter song, and you know, literally the same thing you just said. So I feel it.
Yeah, and like people that been talking that talk or at least sprinkle a little bit in their music or whatever, like that's one thing, but they literally just jump in the booth as soon as they find out somebody died. Like somebody got killed by the police, something messed up happened. Like I bet we'd have another We Are the World, the next mass shooting that happens, and everybody wants to act like we all together again. Like that's basically what happens. It's cycles, it's trends. That's people that's actually doing this every day, and y'all diss them for it. So I mean, so on one hand, I can agree with Punch when he says that people don't deserve Kendrick's new album. I still feel funny about that comment, but I get where it's coming from. Like I get what you're like where he's coming from because of stuff like that. Like Kendrick didn't do nothing and he got dragged into it.
Dragged into it on his birthday at that. Like what we're not gonna do is drag my boo in it. We're not gonna drag Kendrick into this. We're gonna let him enjoy his birthday, and y'all could be mad about Jermaine, but no. But I do
that
think
was a wild part.
Never Kendrick would. I mean, Kendrick throws his shots at people, but he just does it smarter
well thought out.
and
Like
super well thought
usually
out.
usually Cole's better. Like when
Mm-hmm.
he does throw shots, they're well planned out, strategic. Like when he threw shots at Eminem and
Right.
AV, and then he dropped, the song against Kanye, and he's even said
Mm-hmm.
some things about Wale. That was all strategic.
Right.
I think this was a knee-jerk reaction
Mm-hmm.
to how he felt. Emotions are high with everybody that cares about what's going on in the world right now. So,
Right.
like, I get her frustration to a certain point. Like, I think it should still be held accountable, but I get it. I feel like his frustration on one level is valid, but on another hand, it's like, yeah, you needed to kind of like really think about if you needed to put that song out, or at least work on it a little bit better before your message got across. Because a lot of it is just kind of, like I said, it's confusion. Like a lot of people were just confused on, like they're upset, they're confused. You're leaving a lot of stuff up for interpretation, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot in most art that's good, but in this type of situation, it really just left people in the dark, and it left people frustrated in a time where people are just super frustrated already.
Yeah.
Because
I was so annoyed with the people on social media saying, well, he's an artist and this is how he expresses himself and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I mean, I get that, but I can't stress this enough. It wasn't well thought out
mm-hmm.
and it wasn't necessary during this time. We did not need J. Cole's, whatever the song is called. I can't even
Snow on
think
the
of it.
Bluff.
Yeah, Snow on the Bluff. We didn't need that at this moment. We didn't need
Yeah.
NoName bitching on Twitter, but hey, everybody's bitching on Twitter. Like everybody is doing this right now. So if you felt it was about you, then you should have approached her, worked it out from there, and moved on. Like the world should not have known any of this was going on.
Yeah. If anything, I said it would have been like a deep cut on the album. Like I know he got another album coming out. I would have put that towards the end of the album.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it would have still stirred up conversation, but like if it would have been further removed from what's going on right now, like a few months down the line, then maybe people would have took it a lot better. Because I had the same reaction when I saw her tweet when it went out before she deleted it, about the rappers with plight in their music, and that was my first reaction. I was like, yo, what the fuck? You don't know what such and such is doing, like what they got going on, what they planning to do. Because a lot of times too, it's like one of the things I don't like about this song, like that Cole put out, is that I feel like when you are quiet, like when artists are quiet, especially the ones that's been about it, like there's artists that ain't never really do nothing, and ain't never gonna do nothing about like situations like this. But like Cole, Kendrick, and guys like that, they have been out there. They've been, they've been donating. They've been putting together foundations. They've been marching with the people. They've done this already.
Right.
So, I mean, I feel like we should give people like that the benefit of the doubt just because they didn't tweet about it the day that it happened or the week that it happened. Maybe people are trying to gather their thoughts. That's what I was thinking was going on, but it didn't feel like the song reflected that at all. Like he wasn't at a point where I felt like he really sat down and thought about it before he addressed any of this, or he didn't address any of this. He addressed her, and even that wasn't thought out the way it needed to be.
The other issue with this whole situation is, going back to NoName, is this whole social media world we live in. Everybody wants to know your every single move, and there's a fine line between like putting everything out, having a brand, and having a life. Like Beyonce is a prime example. Beyonce allows us to see what she wants us to see, and she's enjoying her family and her children and her husband and doing whatever the hell else she doing in the world. But we don't need to know every single move. And I mean, I just feel like if you're out doing charitable work or you handing $100 to a homeless man, we don't need to see that. But yes, if you have a charity, maybe maybe do that for your brand. But that's the whole thing with NoName. Like you've been saying, Don Lemon, you can't call these people out because we don't know what's going on, and we don't have to really tell you what I'm doing.
Yeah, like I've somebody did make an interesting point because of social media. I can't remember now, so I apologize. But like they did say that because we are so well connected,
right?
We are so well connected, and especially with celebrities, they have millions of followers. They could put out a tweet that could get get to a lot of people, and that could influence people, kind of inform people that may at the time may not be as informed about what's going on. Because I don't believe, because a lot of people diss social media, they call it social media activism, and they try to dismiss it. I don't dismiss it completely. I don't think that it should stop there, but I do feel like, hey, you share like a post a million times, people are keeping the conversation going, and we have the ability to reach people that without it we will probably never interact with in our lives, because there's so many people on this planet. And if you put it on your social media and it gets retweeted 300,000 times, and it's bound to reach somebody that may not be as well informed about what's going on, that believe that the police officers are superheroes and don't understand that no, they're corrupt. This whole system is corrupt. It needs to change. Something needs to be done. That there's some people that are in that bubble, white people for the most part, are in that bubble like, hey, the police are our friends. Like, we should believe them over the people that are getting brutalized and murdered.
Right.
But then, like, video footage and sharing petitions and sharing stories that a lot of people, like, I'm learning about a lot of cases every time I get on Twitter that I would have never known about, because the news isn't going to cover it. Certain outlets are not going to cover it because they don't want to share that information. So I do agree that sometimes, even when you're not that active on Twitter or on whatever social media platform, like you should at least say something.
Right.
Like one post, like literally just copying a link to an article, making sure that it's legit, posting a link to an article, informing your followers like, hey, shit is bad out here and this is how I feel about it.
Right.
Or just tweeting it out and saying, just leaving it that, like, just post that in the headline and then boom, just keep it moving.
Yeah.
Something like that. I get it to a certain degree, because, like, at the same time, people have talked down on social media activism to the point where maybe Kendrick and Cole felt like it would be better suited for them to be out there in the streets just doing the work than to, get on social media and talk about it. And a lot of people were like, oh, well, they're just quiet, they don't care about it. But in reality, they're out in the street. It's very, like, that's what I'm saying. This whole thing is like layered, because there's so many different, it's not just this person was wrong, this person was right. Like, there's so many different ways you could look at it. It's just like,
yeah, it's it goes deep. It definitely goes deep. It's just, we just really have to come together as a people to figure shit out and stick together through everything. Like, and it's gonna literally take another 300-400 years for us to do that, honestly, because we still struggling with what is it, post-traumatic slave syndrome. And people don't realize that. They might say, oh, she thinking too deeply into it, but no, we literally just had a whole fight over tweets and songs.
Right.
And it was men versus women, and it was people that got more education versus the people that don't, and people that want to know versus the people that know but they don't really want to teach it, like shit like that. Like, we have to get over this stuff and figure it out so that we can change this world that we living in. It's not going to change today, it's not going to change tomorrow, but it's mad baby steps that we have to do in order to change this world in the future.
And because I'm about to wrap it up in a little bit, but I will say that this situation did kind of highlight that there are like mad communication issues.
Yeah.
With amongst us, and I think that if anything, that's a big step that needs to be taken into account, and needs to be fixed before we can really make those type of changes. And it's unfortunate that these situations, like, even though these songs were not necessary, that's the one like positive I could take out of it that was probably necessary, is that we need to like look at it like, dang, it could have been as simple as a phone call, like reaching out to her people, or she reaching out to his people, trying to be like, hey, what are they doing before I get on social media and start talking crazy? Or like he talked to her like, hey, are you talking about me before I get in the studio and drop some bars? Like, it could have been that easily resolved, but it took it to these extremes, and now people that were already divided, like within this movement, trying to get things done, now they're even more divided, because now they're divided because of music, they're divided because of gender, they're divided because of like education, like like J. Cole's education was called into account, like her book club was called into account, like it's all of that was highlighted in a negative way. So if that's one thing we could take away from this, is that, like, I just look back at this situation and say, before you jump out there and take it to a point where it could escalate things further than these, like, figure out better ways to communicate before it gets to that point.
Yep.
All right, but that's our time. Appreciate it again, Cash, for being on the show with me today.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you for hearing my side as a woman.
No problem. Yeah, like we're doing our part to help, at least lead by example, try to get this communication things better.
Yeah, some good dialogue. Yep.
All right, well, y'all tune in to the next episode of Dangerous Minds. Follow Cash at Cash Collective on all social media platforms. Follow Dangerous Minds YouTube on Instagram. And I'll see y'all next time. Much love.
Let's see what happens now. Exercise my demons. I think we can work it out. I think we can work it out. Think we can work it out. Let's see what happens now.